everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we're doing something a little bit different. I am ranking, well, we have 20 games here that I played in 2023. These are mostly like cozy games, although we do have some other, you know, Nintendo stuff mixed in. Yeah, I mean, I've played more than 20 games this year, but if it didn't make the list, it probably just wasn't memorable, or I don't know. It just didn't do anything for me. So I came up with the 20 like core games, I feel. You know, some are great, some are not so great, but I think all of them are interesting enough to talk about. This might be a longer video. Sit back, relax, and let's fight in the comments. Yeah, I would love to know your ranking as well. I'll leave the link to this in the description. I did make this tier, so it's like tailored to me, but okay, let's go. Pat, stop talking, dude. Okay, first up, I'll just go in order from what these icons are. First up, let's go with Paleo Pines. So Paleo Pines, if you didn't know, is a farming life sim. The big kick here, the big shtick here is there's dinosaurs, and you can raise dinosaurs, you can tame dinosaurs in the wilds, and you know what? I played it, and I didn't really enjoy it. Like, there was some fun to be had. Like, I do like the idea of taming dinosaurs. I even like the idea of having dinosaurs. I like when these types of games try something different. You know, we're not just on a farm anymore. You know, it's a little something different. The performance on the Switch wasn't the greatest, and I think that will bring scores down to a lot of these, especially one of the games later. Paleo Pines, for me, is kind of one of those forgettable games. I would probably put in the C category. I will be ranking the games within each of the categories as well, but I think it's a very low C, at least for me. I like the idea of it. I like that you can tame dinosaurs to help you on your farm, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't see myself going back to that one. Although I do want to give it a second chance, but it's not because I'm like dying to play it, you know? Anyway, so we're starting with a C. Next up, we have Super Mario Bros. Wonder. This was a ton of fun to play. I actually streamed the entirety of this game on my channel, and I thought that, man, like, Mario's back. Mario is back. Mario's been stale for a little bit, at least the 2D games. And I feel like this one really brought it back. Added a ton of awesome level designs. Love the power-ups. And it was just a joy to play. The entire time I was playing this game, I just was happy. I felt happiness for the first time in my life. No, but I don't know. I really enjoyed this game. I don't think it's... Okay, here we go. Critical now. I don't think it's as amazing as a lot of people make it out to be. I think it's a solid game. It's probably the best controlling 2D game I've played, honestly. But I can't say it's a bad game either, because it's amazing. I'm going to go A with this one. Very high A. I don't think it quite hits the S for me. I think it's really good. Don't think it hits the S for me. Next up is a game that more people need to talk about. That is Pixel Cafe, and I recently, this was like one of my final games of this year that I played, and I didn't hear a lot about it. I saw it on the eShop. I liked the way it looked, so I picked it up, and I'm glad I did. This is a sort of one of those restaurant management sim type games. You play as this girl who's kind of, it's like a coming of age story, and you kind of bounce around from restaurant to restaurant. And the gameplay part of it is really cool. It's a really frantic, like I said, restaurant management where you're taking customers' orders. The game itself takes place on a few different screens. So one screen will be a hot bar where you have to like make hot food. Another one will be a coffee bar, and you kind of like switch between those screens, make customers' orders. There's also a story in the middle of all that. I think it's good. I'm going to put it in B. I feel like there's not enough of a game there to bring it up to the A or the S, but it was definitely, it was a surprise for me. Love the music as well. Is it an A? No, I'm going to keep it at B. I'm going to keep it at B. Next up, we have Fae Farm. And this one has been talked about a lot, I think for the wrong reasons. A lot of people are hung up on the price. And man, I know price is an important thing when you're buying games. This is a $60 game. And I think people are so taken back by this because, you see a cozy farming game and they're not full price. They're like 20, 30, maybe. I will say though, price aside, and again, I know price is a super important thing. This is a really, really well-made game. I love the animations of this game, love the story, love the mechanics. The game has translated to console superbly, and I just really enjoyed my time and am still enjoying my time with this game. Love that there is a heavy sort of design element. I like the farming in this game. I like the magic and, how you play as a fairy. So, there's different things that you would see in this game compared to like a Stardew Valley, for example. Fae Farm is great. They recently had a DLC that came out and the DLC was okay. It didn't really provide a ton in terms of gameplay. There is another wave of DLC and that might push it over the edge for me. But I think this is a very high B. I would say it's better than Pixel Cafe. People are very hard on this game for whatever reason, but I think this is a very well-made game. I want to see more from this developer. I want to see more from Fae Farm, like the world of Fae Farm. Maybe they keep adding to it. Maybe if that last wave of DLC is really, really good, it could climb up to maybe an A. But I think Fae Farm is a very solid game. Yeah, don't let the price scare you. Trust me. Next up, oof, that's never a good sign. We have My Time at Sandrock. Now this game, I was actually not excited to play because I played the first game, My Time at Portia, and didn't like it. A lot of people love that game. Maybe it's because I played it on the Nintendo Switch, although I did play an early version on the Xbox One. My Time at Sandrock, for me, I was going into it with an open mind. It just didn't deliver. And let's talk about the big elephant in the room. This game runs very, very, very poorly on the Nintendo Switch. Like unplayable levels on the Nintendo Switch. I did one stream of it on my channel if you want to go check that out. My Time at Sandrock, I'm going to put in D. Now, it's important to know that this is my grading on what I've played, and I played it on the Switch. If you played it on the PC, it might be a different experience, but the Switch version is a D, and I would not recommend anyone getting this because it's just, I don't enjoy it, but also the performance is bad. And honestly, the world and the characters really didn't rope me in. I do like how they're voice acted, but I don't know. Didn't really stick with me. I gotta be honest. Next up, we have, this is kind of a difficult game to judge, really, because we have Suika Game here. Now, this is a really cute puzzler. You guys, I don't really need to talk about this game very much. You drop fruit, you match it up. I mean, I think it's an A. It's lower than Mario. Come on, stop it. Suika Game is an A. I think it does what it's supposed to. It's addicting. It's simple. It's cheap. I think it's like $2.99, and it's been a ton of fun. I love the holiday updates as well. I think there's currently a Christmas one, and I hope they continue that throughout the year. So yeah, Suika Game's great. Next up is Sprout Valley. This is a little bite-sized farming experience. I don't know really what to compare it to. It's just very simple. I think that's the one word I would use to describe this game. It's just simple. You have your farming. You have your exploring. You can go to like mystery islands. You have your foraging. And I mean, there's not like a ton to it. I do think it's great because it was on sale for like $5 or something. Normally like 20 or 15 or 20. I don't think I'd recommend it for that price, but it is a very shallow game. I do think it's enjoyable though. I would put it in C. I did have more fun with it than Paleo Pines, if that means anything. But I think it's a fine game. I don't really think there's anything wrong with it. But what we have is just like pretty shallow. I don't know. That's not a bad thing, though. Next up, we have Dave the Diver. Now, this game, out of all of the games on this list, I probably put the least amount of time into. So I can't really judge it too much, you know? I would compare it to Pixel Cafe. I think I like it more than Pixel Cafe. And the reason why I compare those two is because there is sort of an element of, there is a restaurant sim element, but there's also like a diving element, and Pixel Cafe sort of has two gameplay things going on. I really like what I have played. I gotta go back though, because I do, like, a lot of people talk very highly of it. Could bump up to an A, maybe even an S. No S's yet, by the way. I'm a tough critic. Okay. Next up, Everdream Valley. So this game's cute, actually. I played this on the Switch, like all these other ones. And you play as this kid who revisits their grandparents' farm. They're still alive, though. Plot twist. And at first, you're kind of like, oh, I'm visiting my grandparents. It's going to be a boring summer. But you actually end up enjoying yourself. And yeah, you do a lot of different things like farm and forage. There is like an open world, albeit not that interesting. Performance is so-so on the Switch. And I think this is actually a really cute game. I would say I enjoyed it more than Paleo Pines. I do think it's kind of shallow. I do like how... like at night, for example, you'll go to bed and then you'll play out these dream sequences. So one dream, you'll play as the farm dog, and you have to like chase away wolves and things like that. And there's consequences. If you don't get the wolves, your sheep will die. Like, I don't know. I kind of like that. Kind of was a short game. It does end. So, I don't know. Keep that in mind. All right, here we go. The next two games are rivals, man. They're rivals. Let's start out with Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life. Now, it is very important to know that this is a remake of an older GameCube game, Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life. And I have a lot to say about this one. I really, really love this game, okay? I love the original game as a kid. This is like nostalgia overload, and I feel like the remake, they did it justice. However, there's not a ton to do in this game. It kind of upsets me, okay? Now, what it does have, we have farming, we have livestock, we have relationships, and, you know, fishing. There's a bunch of things to do. There's like a mine, but it's not like super interesting. In terms of a remake, I think this is an A. In terms of a modern 2023 game, I really think it's tough because I love this. Okay, I would probably, like, personally, I would give it an A, but I gotta like wipe the nostalgia away and look at it critically. And for Story of Seasons, I would probably give it a B. I think it is a very solid game. Would I recommend you guys go out and buy it? Probably not. But there's a game there. This one hurts me, man, because they could have done so much more to add in more gameplay elements. Well, we might go back to that one, but I'm going to say it's a B. I'm going to say it's a B. I enjoyed it more than Pixel. I enjoyed it more than Pixel Cafe. And Dave the Diver. Who am I kidding? Okay. Next up, we have Harvest Moon: Winds of Anthos. And yeah, we all know the story with this. Harvest Moon, their original team separated. They kept the Harvest Moon name. That team went and made the Story of Seasons games. Harvest Moon: Winds of Anthos, biggest surprise of the year for me, if I'm being totally honest. I think this is a fun game. It has its flaws, similar to Story of Seasons. Now, this is a true open world farming game. And I gotta say, the main thing for me, and this is a major thing, the open world just isn't good. It's not exciting. It's different. Like, all the world itself, like, looks different. You know, you have your desert area, you have your tropical area, you have your snowy area. And it is kind of fun, like, exploring in that sense. But in terms of, like the open world is pretty bare. Now, besides that, I did like the story mode. I like the progression in this game. I like the different crops. I like the mining in this game. I will say, and this is the biggest surprise of the year, I enjoyed Harvest Moon more than Story of Seasons. Not quite as much as Fae Farm, but I think Winds of Anthos is a better game. Like, not that it's made better, because it does have performance issues. Harvest Moon Winds of Anthos is a more complete game than A Wonderful Life. I cannot believe I said that. Let's move on. Next up is Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe, I think it's called. Again, this is a remake or a remaster. I don't even know what the difference is. Of the original Wii game, and I love Kirby. I don't know if you guys knew this. I friggin' love Kirby. And this game was a joy to play. And I played the original Return to Dreamland on the Wii, and I liked it. It looked great. It looked amazing. It played great. And when this was announced, I was like, why are they doing this? This makes no sense. If there was a Kirby game that aged well, it was Return to Dreamland. But the remake that they did was absolutely fantastic. They added in some post-game stuff, and man, I had such a fun time. They added in a bunch of minigame, like they have a minigame park. I would say this is an A. I would say that Kirby's an A all day. Like, it's so good. If there is a Kirby game, like if you're like, man, I want to play Kirby on the Switch, like what game do I get? This game and the other one, Forgotten Lands. Is that what it's called? I don't know. Those two are the ones to play. The others, whatever. A, yeah. Let's go to Mail Time. Mail Time, super, super, super charming. This is a mini open world. That doesn't even make sense. You play as this mushroom mail delivery person, and you deliver mail to different characters. And there's a big story that's going on. You're trying to find out who someone is. There is an ending. It's a very short game. I think it takes around it took me less than 2 hours to beat the entire game. I think it was like an hour and a half. You can go back and extend the playtime if you want 100%. Like, it's a collect-a-thon type thing. There is also achievements that you can do. This was a super cute game. I really enjoyed this. I would say this game probably falls in B for me. And I'd probably put it under Dave the Diver. And even though I didn't play Dave the Diver much, I've already played it more than an hour and a half. So yeah, I think the only thing that it has going against it is the length of the game. I do really, really like it, but compared to some of the others, it's just, there's not enough of a game there. I want to see more, and I just didn't get it. So anyway, the next game is Palia, and big disclaimer, I did only try this out on the Switch. This is a free-to-play game. It's a open-world MMO farming game with design elements. Now, I do think that what is here is pretty impressive. I really do like Palia as a game. Performance-wise on the Switch, I can't play it. It honestly gives me migraines playing it because the camera's, jittery, it lags, it's just bad. It just wasn't made for the Switch. Now, the game itself, although I enjoy, playing it, there's not much of a game there. It's a bunch of fetch quests, and it is a free-to-play game, so I was like, oh, maybe the premium items are amazing. But the premium items, you could just buy outfits and different glider skins. This one didn't click for me. I think this one is going to be a D as well. And you're going to see a bunch of these ranking videos. This is not a D on anyone's list. But for me, I just didn't enjoy it. And it's free to play too, which is crazy how I'm so critical on it. But, just didn't like it. I look at these games and I'm like, if I don't know where to rank them, it's like, will I go back to it? And Palia, in my time at Sandrock, I just don't see myself going back to, Anyway, next up is Pikmin 4. My God. Pikmin 4 is fantastic. I did not play this on stream. I didn't make any content with it. I really, really like the Pikmin franchise. And Pikmin 4, I was super excited about. I didn't buy it right away, but I was super excited about it. And it delivered. This is a game that a lot of people are sleeping on. This game, you gotta play. I really like the changes with the camera angle. I like how the game plays now. Love, love, love the level design. I love games that make you feel really tiny and the world is like large. Like I love that gimmick. It'll never get old. I'm flirting with S here. I will say it's A. I'm going to put it above Mario Wonder. Look at that. 3 Nintendo games near each other. Like Nintendo's still killing it. Pikmin 4 is incredible. Replay value. Now, there's not a ton there. You know, do I want to... I'll replay the campaign probably in like, you know, a couple years or something. But Pikmin 4 is fantastic. I really love it. Don't sleep on it. Next up is Roots of Pacha. This is a very interesting game. It is a farming game that takes place in the Stone Age. And at first I was like, okay, you know, it's kind of corny. Like, will they go all in with that idea? And they really did. Like, Roots of Pacha is great. I do have one problem with it though, and this is a very unique problem to myself. I want combat in this game. It's a Stone Age game. Why isn't there combat? There's mines in this game. There's like, you know, a world that you can walk in and there's animals and stuff. But why don't things attack you? You know, it's the Stone Age. When I think of Stone Age and like dinosaurs and stuff, I think of danger. I think of like giant saber-toothed tigers chasing you. And this game just doesn't have that. Now, the other side of the coin, you know, is it is relaxing. It's a very relaxing game. Reminds me a lot of Stardew. I know people are going to kill me for saying that. Well-made game. Love it. Love this game. But, you know, the combat for me just kind of, I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to put it above Dave the Diver. I do think it, I mean, I was pretty critical on the game. If this game had combat, would go to A, I think. It's fantastic. Love the progression. And would love to play more of it. Yeah. I think it's that good, dude. I think it's that. Look at all the bees, man. They just can't get to that next level. Next up is Rune Factory 3 Special. This is a remake of Rune Factory 3. And this kind of has some of the problems of A Wonderful Life for me. And this is a true to the original source material remake. So for better or worse, right? Like the graphics are enhanced. The gameplay has pretty much stayed the same. And some of the things that haven't aged the best have also stayed the same. Not a ton of quality of life. I do like how there are like a dozen bachelorettes. You can only play as a guy though, you know, if you're wondering. But there is a ton of romanceable options. I think this game for me is going to go in the C category. I think if you're going to play a Rune Factory on the Switch, I would either go 4 or 5. But it's still nice to get these games remade, remastered, you know, like that's yeah, I like that. Okay, next up, Tears of the Kingdom. And finally, we have an F game. No, I'm kidding. It's an S game. Tears of the Kingdom. I don't even know what to say about this game. Breath of the Wilds, but better. And that sentence right there is crazy. That sentence is crazy. Tears of the Kingdom improved just about in every way from Breath of the Wild. They added in 2 additional layers to the open world. The story is amazing. Combat's amazing. The world is so fun to explore and find caves and the underground. Like, it is perfect. You know, and I know every game has flaws. And hell, Zelda might have flaws. This game to me is perfect. If there was a category above S, I would put it there. It is that good. Like, I need to go back and play it. Because I beat it, obviously, but I didn't 100% it. And I don't think I'll ever 100% it, because like Korok Seeds, whatever. I gotta stop talking. It's an S. Play it. If you haven't played it, yeah, play it. Man. Next up, Spirittea. Let's talk about Spirittea. I was pretty high on Spirittea when it came out. This is not your typical cozy farming game. This is more of a cozy, almost like a management sim, honestly. It's kind of more similar to like Pixel Cafe, Dave the Diver. In similarities with Spirited Away, you take control of a bathhouse and you serve spirits. Like it's an abandoned bathhouse and you take care of spirits and make sure they're okay. I love that, little Spirited Away inspired storyline. Love that. The game for me kind of fell flat after the initial sort of, ooh, this is fun, like wore off. I don't know, man. The music is okay. A lot of the game is forgettable for me. And the graphics, they're fine. It reminds me of like Earthbound, Deltarune, stuff like that. But I'm not going to go back and play this. I don't know. I think it's a D. Maybe a C, but I just didn't like Spirittea. I tried. I spoke highly of it when it first came out. But I don't think, like, as you play, like, it's interesting because if you see game reviews, that's why you see so many different game reviews, because you can really tell who plays the game, And Spirittea, if I was grading just like the first couple hours, I'd be like, oh my God, this game's great. But as you go on, it's like, it doesn't get to that next level, So I think it fell flat for me. I would go D. Interesting. I would like to see more from the developer, but yeah. Next up is Trinity Trigger. This was kind of a surprise too. This game just kind of came out of nowhere. This game is a dungeon crawler. And I like it a lot, actually. I would go probably like just under Rune Factory. I think it's a fine game. There's not a lot to it though. It's your simple dungeon crawler, hack and slash. I do like how you can change between different characters and upgrade them. This isn't really like a cozy farming game though. It does have some cameos of like Story of Season cows in it. So if you can't get enough of the cows, there you go. But it's an okay game. Let me know what you think. Did I rank some of these wrong? Is maybe one of my B's an S for you? Or is it BS for you? See what I did there? Thank you guys for watching. Pretty good year for gaming, honestly. Everything's a blur, but I feel like I had more fun gaming this year than last year. So we'll see how 2024 goes. Maybe we'll get a new system. But yeah, I'm excited. More games. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, they are gone. I hated every second of Zelda. Jesus.